We're recording. Hi Steve, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So why don't you tell me a little bit about kind of what brings you in, what you're looking to do?
Well, I've always been athletic. I stay active. I'm old, obviously, you can tell. I'm 73 years old, retired. Yeah, I know I look young. But last year I had a heart attack. I didn't see it coming. It was pretty unexpected, so I got through my rehab. I hired a personal trainer a little while ago, and I see him twice a week. I do running. My whole workout is running.
Okay,
so
that's impressive.
What I would like to be able to do is be able to run a marathon again. When I was younger, I did a few marathons. So my workouts generally right now are 1 hour 3 times a week, and then half an hour the other 3 times a week and 1 day off.
Excellent. So it sounds like in the past this has been something that you enjoyed, doing the running?
Yes.
Yes?
And yes,
Okay.
I would like to, like I said, I'm 73, so I would like to, in the next 2 years, be able to run a marathon.
By 75.
That's my goal.
Sounds good. Okay. How have things been going since you started working with the trainer? Have you been able to stick with that schedule?
Well, with the trainer, yes, I stick with the schedule with the trainer, but then, my other 3 to 4 days a week, depending, I'm finding myself not running more than I am.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about when you had your heart attack. And I know that's probably not something you want to think about, but kind of the initial rehab phases. How were you feeling about getting active again?
Well, like I said, it was a big surprise, so it really scared me, and I was, almost died. So
right.
so getting back into it initially was pretty hard, but I followed my cardiac rehab as much as I could, and I would say that the rehab program took away the fear of running, or the fear of working out, or something like that. But I find that I would like to relax more in my retired days, so I don't run as much as I want to.
So it sounds like the fear that a lot of people have of exercising after a heart attack isn't an issue for you. Rehab made you feel comfortable with that.
Yes.
And so fear isn't a reason that you're not keeping up with the schedule that you set.
Right.
It's more, hey, I'm retired. I'm supposed to get to
grandkids
relax
and traveling and all those fun things that you look forward to when you retire.
How many grandkids do you have?
I have 5.
Okay.
Two children and 5 grandchildren.
And how old are the grandkids now?
The youngest is actually 8 months, and the oldest will be 10 in about a month.
Okay. And do they live nearby?
2 of them do.
Okay.
My daughters 2 do, and my sons 3. They live in Minnesota, so fairly close.
Okay. So time maybe is a little bit of an issue, just because there are other things that are also important to you right now. So it's kind of figuring out how to fit it in and make everything
an hour
worth
of running
of your time.
is, well, I guess in the grand scheme it's not a lot, but when you find yourself doing other things, it's kind of daunting to get started.
Right. Okay. So you set up this program with your trainer. Was the hour a day and the half hour a day your initial starting points?
No.
Okay.
When we started, well, when I initially finished the rehab, I was able to slowly run about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So with the trainer, I would start pushing that as he saw fit. First week, I was still doing 20 minutes, but then by the end of the first month, I was up to 30.
Okay.
Into the second month, I was up to about 40, 45.
Okay. Did you have any more success sticking with your days per week of running when it was the shorter durations?
It seemed like it was easier to convince myself
Okay.
to go do it when it was the shorter duration.
And that's what it sounds like, that hour is just
Mhm.
really daunting,
Mhm.
and the shorter durations may not have been as hard to schedule.
Right.
Okay.
But the one thing with that, wanting to run a marathon, obviously, is a duration run.
Right.
So,
Right.
so.
So we can't not do duration. Duration is going to be an important piece for you.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have a marathon picked out that you want to do, or is it just
Well, I
in 2
did
years?
want to do the Boston Marathon, but now I don't know about that.
It'll be the safest one.
Right, it will be now.
now.
Honestly, I just want to run one. I don't
Okay.
care where it is. Probably, well, maybe Minnesota to go see my grandkids.
Okay.
So.
When you ran them in the past, did you have a specific training plan that you always used for your marathons? Did you just kind of wing it and see what worked? Did you have certain marathons that you liked to do?
In all honesty, I would just go run and try to stay running for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and slowly build the duration of the run up. But maybe once or twice a week I would do the long runs.
Okay.
Other times I would just do a shorter run, or maybe 2 runs in a day, something like that.
Yep.
Because my joints are getting pretty bad.
Okay. So is there some joint pain too on the longer runs?
Oh, definitely. But I have Believe, which kind of helps, and I take joint supplements.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but for my age, I would say I have a lot less pain than maybe the average person.
Okay.
But I think that's maybe because I have been such a
Okay.
runner, and because obviously I'm built for distance running.
Right. Right. Okay. So it sounds like you really know some of the benefits that both your body and kind of you personally get out of doing the marathons, that you enjoy it. When you trained in the past, did you usually do that on your own, or did you ever take part in any running groups or have any partners?
A lot of times before the heart attack, I had a couple friends, a group of friends. Right now they're still doing the more duration runs, the longer duration runs. So I don't know if I can, or if I should join them again and go for those extended runs. So maybe a little bit of that fear still on the long end.
That did the fear that you wouldn't be able to keep up, or that they would be going for too long?
The fear that I would may try to push myself too far. An hour, in all honesty, maybe a little over an hour is the longest that I've run since the heart attack. So that's my comfort zone.
Okay. So take me back to that day, or those couple times that you have been able to run the hour. Walk me through what your mindset was when you woke up and you knew you were going to do that run, kind of through the end, how you felt.
I like to run in the morning. I wake up early. Sometimes I have my coffee. I try to have at least 1 cup of coffee before the run, and then I like to go and run out in running trails in the nature and hear the birds and whatever else to kind of distract myself or keep myself entertained. The days that I've found that I can run the longest are the mornings where you just wake up and you feel good, and you feel like this is the day that you're going to do it. I don't know why or how, but
just something just feels right.
But now it seems after the heart attack, right after, there was definitely weren't any of those days, but after my rehab plan, I started to have a few of those days, and right now I'm still at that point where there's less of them than there are the ones that actually happen. So.
Okay. So the way that you kind of approach your running program right now, do you have set days that are going to be your long days and set days that are your short days?
With the trainer, I try and at least have one of the actually 2 of the long days, and then sometimes I see him a third time, and that'll be a shorter. He likes me to run a faster pace, but shorter.
Okay.
But we don't have set days. That he kind of leaves that up to how I'm feeling that day. So, but we do at least 2 long a week.
And how do those runs go when you have him there with you?
it's easier when he's there with
Okay.
me, when there's someone to motivate me, definitely.
Okay.
Or someone that you don't want to look bad in front of.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds to me like in the past you've enjoyed running with other people, but you're maybe a little hesitant to get back in with that original group just because you're afraid you might push yourself too hard with them. But that also working out with your trainer provides some good accountability for you. Do you think that maybe joining not that same group but a different group of maybe a little bit more, I won't call them beginners if you're running for an hour, but a different group or finding one or two new people to run with might help hold you accountable and make things more enjoyable for you?
I would think so. I don't know how to go about doing that, though.
Okay. Well, we can certainly look into some running programs in the area. I know a lot of the bike shops and shoe shops have groups that go out together, some of the running stores and things like that, so we could look into that. Was there anybody in rehab that you got to know that had previously been active that might be able to kind of understand some of these limitations that you're feeling?
Not here.
Okay.
I did my rehab up at Mayo. So,
Okay.
So it's a little ways away from here.
Okay.
Yeah, there weren't any that were from this area.
Okay. And there's probably not a whole lot of people in rehab who are willing to go out and run a marathon again.
Yes.
So that's excellent that you're interested in doing that. But it narrows our our group of people that could go out and do it with you. Tell me a little bit about your family. Sounds like they're important to you and could be a good
definitely.
source of support.
My wife is 2 years younger than me. She's also retired. She'll go on walks with me, and I'll walk with her sometimes. But she's not a runner. She's never been a runner, so she supports that I run. She's thrilled that I want to be able to run a marathon again. My 2 kids, they're runners. They have the body type that I have, but they work, and the one is up in Minnesota,
Right.
and so when I see them, we'll sometimes go on runs.
Okay.
But as far as a regular weekly thing, it's
Right.
not. It's
Right.
not an option.
Okay. Does your wife bike?
She used to when we were younger, but she probably hasn't in 20 years.
Okay. Sometimes somebody biking next to you, if she doesn't want to run next to you, or, could be a way to take her along.
Okay.
The other piece that I wanted to talk about a little bit is kind of why running became important to you in the first place. So we know family is important. We know that running is important. And those are kind of the things that are demanding your time right now. I think it's usually pretty obvious why family is important. But why did running become important?
Well, when I was in high school, college, I ran cross country and distance and track, and I was pretty good at it. I won't say great. I never won state. I went to state a few times. So it was something that I was good at and something that I enjoyed. I felt a sense of accomplishment, I guess, and sometimes you'd get that runner's high. Not so much anymore, but when I was younger, I did.
Okay, so it's enjoyable. Are those thoughts that go through your mind on a morning you wake up and you have to do a long run? Or are the thoughts more the amount of time?
On those days where I find it easier to, yeah, definitely. On the other days, it might just be that maybe I slept bad or I have something going on. I have a meeting I'm meeting a friend or something like that, so I would rather just relax before that as opposed to go out and do that run and be tired and have a little bit of the joint pain that's a little more, so.
Not be able to enjoy the rest of your day still.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it would help at all to have a little bit more of a set schedule of when that long run is going to be so that you maybe have a lighter schedule the rest of the day and that's not a barrier as much?
Probably, yeah.
Is it is it common right now that you usually do have something else going on?
Yeah,
pretty
I
busy
think
guy?
so. Yeah, I'm pretty active in the community. You know, I volunteer at the library and read to children, and I do a couple other things, and I have a gardening club.
Okay.
And so
Very active.
right, I try. I've always been an active person, so I try and stay active in my old age.
Okay. So is it possible to find a day? Because right now, if you're doing 2 long workouts with your trainer,
Mm-hmm.
we just need to find 1 day a week right now, right? That you're doing along on your own?
Yes.
Okay. So is it possible with your schedule to have 1 day a week where you're lightened up on the more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure I could do that.
Okay. Do you think that would help your mindset in the morning of
and
knowing that you didn't have that?
Maybe that way, the night before too, I maybe don't stay up for the 10 o'clock news.
Okay.
It's things like that.
Right.
I would think so.
So you think just making a little bit more set in your schedule?
Right, yeah. And initially I didn't do that, didn't have a set schedule because I wanted to really embrace that retirement thing and not have the feeling that I have a schedule, but I guess if I'm going to run a marathon in 2 years, I better get after it.
And I think it's completely understandable to want to have that kind of relaxed lifestyle, but if this marathon is a goal too, have to find a way to balance those two and make everything fit. And hopefully if it's 1 day a week, it won't be so much that it becomes, because we don't want it to be a burden. We want to keep it something that you enjoy.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. With all the volunteering that you do, is that usually kind of a pretty regular weekly schedule that you know what days you're going to be really busy,
as
or
far
do
as
things change a lot?
with the reading, that's set. But with certain card club, garden club, things like that, with my friends more instead of volunteering, that's more flexible.
Okay.
So that's something that could be scheduled around around the long run, I guess.
Okay. Or we can schedule the run around that. Do you think you'd be able to maybe each week kind of set down and figure out, okay, this is what my schedule looks like for the rest of the week, and pick your long run day?
Well, yeah, Sundays are usually my day off, so I'm sure I could get one of those big calendars.
To keep track of it?
Right. My wife already has one with all the birthdays.
To keep track of you?
Well, to keep track with the birthdays. She's good with everybody's birthday, so she reminds me, except for hers, when I have to get her presents.
That one you have to remember on your own.
No, that one my kids remind me.
Oh, good. Okay, so maybe getting a calendar, adding to your wife's calendar, and planning out a little bit in advance when those runs would be.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Okay. As far as the shorter ones, those half-hour runs, you feel like you're doing okay with those?
Yeah, and those are the ones that if I wake up in the morning and I'm really not feeling like it, then I wait for my wife to wake up, or spend time with her in the morning, and then I guess I can wait till the afternoon, or I can wait till the afternoon is pretty much my before bedtime, but I can wait and hold off on the run until I feel like I want to, or I have nothing else going on, I guess.
And when you've done that in the past, kind of waited until the afternoon, does it usually still happen? Or are those the days when maybe it falls off the calendar a little bit?
Yeah, it seems like those are more of the days where I get busy, or I just say I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Or I say, tomorrow I'm seeing the trainer, so it's fine, I don't have to. Okay. But I know I need to for the marathon.
So how do we kind of address those issues, that if it gets pushed off, sometimes it doesn't happen, but you know that you need to do it, and for your goals that you want to do it?
Well, maybe right now my wife, she doesn't care if I slough off the run, I guess, but maybe if I tell her to not let me do that, so maybe having someone to be accountable to again maybe would help. Or maybe I could have the kids, call me and see how I'm doing on my runs, and something like that I think would really
That sounds good, to kind of recruit the family to keep you in line a little bit. So maybe, I think we have a couple good ideas of tasks. One, to plan out ahead of time when your long runs are going to be, even if it's just, the weekend before, figuring out when it's going to be. But I think the second and the big piece is to recruit your family and tell them, share with them that it's important to you.
Okay.
But then tell them, I need your help, though, to keep me in line a little bit.
Right.
You think they'd be willing to do that for you?
Oh, I'm sure they would. I talk to my kids 3 or 4 times a week, so I'm sure that if I tell them to, they'll remember that they need to get after me for it. So.
And then the other thing that I want to talk a little bit about is the grandkids, because you mentioned that there are a couple in the area. How old are the ones that live nearby?
The 8-month-old and her brother is 4.
4. Okay, so is he in preschool now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I know.
He's got to be 4. Is there any way that you could, maybe every once in a while, bring a kid along? Do you have a jogging stroller, or does mom or dad have a jogging stroller?
Yeah.
Would that make it any more interesting for you to be able to?
I'm sure. Yeah.
To not have those be competing for time?
I'm sure that would. I just don't know if I could. How that would affect me having to push the stroller.
Okay. So maybe that would be something to try out just with an empty stroller. Because for some people that can really affect their jogging motion, but it could be something to try it.
Okay.
Just because it sounds like with how important family is, that it might, instead of taking something that takes away from the running, it could be something that adds to it, that you get that extra time with the grandkids. Even if it's, once a month. You say, I get the kid today. I need my running buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'd appreciate that too. So
I bet they'd love time with Grandpa. Okay. So we got a couple tasks to work on. How confident do you feel that you can schedule these weekly long runs ahead of time on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, it's not going to happen, I'm just telling her this so she got off my back. And 10 being, this is definitely going to happen.
Well, I'd say probably 7 or 8 that I can.
Okay.
I still have that from the past, the cardiac rehab, the whole regimented time thing is kind of still fresh, so more so than my time before that was not. So. Okay,
so that sounds like that's what brings it up to that level. What stops you from giving it a 9 or a 10? What could still get in the way and make that tough?
Habit. I guess that's probably it. Just habit or making excuses.
Okay. And hopefully bringing the family in will help deal with that.
Okay. Yeah.
How important is it to you that you get those long runs scheduled every week on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, the marathon is very important, and I know that the long runs are critical to the marathon, so I would say 9 or 10.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. So if we're going to use family support to get you up to a 9 or 10 on that confidence level, how confident are you that you can get your family on board?
Oh, 10 for sure.
10. Excellent. So it sounds like we got a pretty good plan. We can use some of these strategies to help boost the other ones.
Right.
Enrolling the family to help you get those long runs in.
Okay.
Okay. So let's make those our 2 focuses, and then maybe trying out the jogging stroller is just an idea to try.
Okay.
And we'll keep those in mind. Give them some time. It's not all going to happen right off the bat.
Okay.
Maybe I think enrolling the family support is probably a first step, because that's what's going to help you get the long runs, because you'll have that accountability and that support then.
Okay.
So let's just focus on that and say my goal is to talk to my wife about it, to talk to the kids, get them all on board.
Okay.
And then once that's established, we can work on getting those long runs scheduled, so we kind of take it one step at a time.
Okay.
Sound like a good plan?
Sounds like a good plan.
All right. Nice to meet you. And of course, I set my watch to record the time, and I never started it.